Hi again then guys, so we've got another special projects tune for you today. It's been quite a while since I did one of these, mainly due to the transmission glitch. But this is a replica tune. It was specifically requested by Mitch Diabetic, and it's a replica of the GT2 racing car version of Ferrari's F430. Now, as you can see, we're using the standard F430 instead of the Scuderia because it's closer to the actual racing version, both in its looks and performance. So initially I'll show you what parts I've fitted, and then we'll go to the track to show you what I've done as far as the fine tuning and to see how the car drives. So as far as this car's visual tuning, as you can see, it's got the Type A body kit, which gives you these little chin splitters at the front and these carbon fibre side skirts. There's no flat floor for this one. For the rear wing, I've gone for a custom rear wing. It's got the Type A wing supports, Type A wing design itself, which is just a flat-topped wing, and then a Type C side supports. As far as height and width, I've gone for 2 on height and 15 on width, because you can go bigger, but it starts to look kind of dumb if you, or in my opinion it does anyway. For the wheels, we've gone for size up 1, and then we've gone for these Enkei RS05RRs in, well, I went for the grey ones, but I ended up painting them black anyway, so it doesn't really matter which of those you go for. And then for the meters, obviously you have to decide what meters you want, but I've gone for water temp, oil temp and oil pressure. Then as far as excuse me, as far as painting the car, I've actually left it in the stock colour, which is Rosso Corsa, which you can get, as I said, it's a stock colour. You can get it on this car straight from the dealership, and it's got Rosso Corsa body, and I've also matched the rear wing, as you can see, in the same colour. For the wheels, I've gone for Black Venom. I can't remember what car that comes from, but basically just black. And for the brake calipers themselves, I've gone for Imola Yellow, which comes from the Audi RS4, which just goes quite well with the Ferrari logo, I think. So obviously you don't have to stick to those colours, but that's what I've gone for. And as I said with the wing, I've just gone for that red again. So now let's take it to the track and do the fine-tuning side of things. So as far as this car's specs, as you can see, it's sitting at 575 pp, which is pretty competitive. It's around the same as the BMW M3 GT2, not far off the Z4 GT3, so it's pretty well placed. As you can see, we're running 560 horsepower. The real life car weighs 1100 kilos, so it is a bit heavier, but obviously it's a road car, so you can't really help that. And although it's not completely accurate, I'd like to think it's a pretty good representation of the GT2 car. So you want your racing soft tyres, as usual. For suspension, we've got the front as low as possible on 50, rear quite a bit higher on 75. It doesn't look stupid though, it actually looks really good. It sits really well, and it also increases your turn-in. Springs we've got pretty high on 1050 on the front, 1550 on the back. Dampers on 5, anti-roll on 7 to make the car nice and stiff in the corners like a real racing car. Camber we've got 3.5 on the back, 4 on the front. Neutral toe as always. For the gearbox, relatively moderate level speed tune, 224 auto setting. I've rounded off the individual gears to 0.125, 0, 50, 475, 100, 875 and 725. With a final drive of 4.4, as you can see, we've got the initial torque as low as possible to reduce wheel spin, and we've got the split of acceleration and braking equal on 30. As far as power, we've got the race exhaust, the race manifold and the race intake, with a power limiter of 99.4 just to bring it down perfectly to 575 pp. You can't adjust the front downforce, unfortunately, but we've got the back on the maximum, and obviously you want your full weight loss package. Now traction control is turned off, so now let's take it to the track and see how it performs. So the only track that I've actually tested this car on is here at Monza. So I can't really tell you how it drives on other circuits, but based on how it drives here, I think it would be pretty good on tracks such as the Nürburgring Ring or Sierra, or maybe even tracks like Ascari or Laguna Seca, because I don't really like Monza, but even though I don't like the track, this car does perform very well here. Now, as far as lap times, I haven't compared it to any actual racing cars like the M3 GT2, but I think it will probably be pretty competitive, especially considering it is a road car and it is still at a bit of a disadvantage as far as things such as weight. Overall, the handling is kind of hard to describe. I haven't really built many other cars which have handling that are like this. It handles a little bit like the S.p.A, in that the front end is a little bit light before tuning, which is why you'll have noticed the front end has more camber than the back. But now I'm very pleased with the handling. It handles really, really well. It's stiff, but not too stiff, so that it's undrivable. It handles, I'd say it handles well, but like I said, it's kind of hard to describe how it handles. The steering is kind of heavy, but light at the same time. But yeah, I'm proud of the car anyway, so for any of you who use this tune and test it for yourself, I'd appreciate feedback on what you think of the way this car handles, maybe something that you would have done better or just differently. But overall, yeah, it seems a pretty good car. I think it wouldn't hurt to stiffen up the springs, maybe even the dampers a little bit more, but I didn't want to make the car too rock hard so that nobody could drive it. I wanted to keep it with a little bit of kind of suppleness so that people who maybe aren't looking for that pure racing car feel can still get a hold of and drive this car. So if you do need it to be even more like the GT2 car, I would suggest maybe increasing the dampers and springs a little bit more. But overall, I'm pleased with this car, and I hope you guys enjoy driving it. As I said, I'd like feedback about the car, either way, good or bad. And that's it really. So if you found this helpful, feel free to subscribe. We'll put out new tunes every day. And as always, thanks for watching.